5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the fuck he was.
I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious.
The fighters and, you know, actual fighters, some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing, what he's created. This is a little crazy. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small.
Jake Paul issued a bold warning to Gervonta Davis during a live session, telling viewers that anyone doubting him is making a mistake. Paul stressed that he takes his training and preparation seriously, insisting he's fully determined and confident in what he brings to the ring. He went further, claiming Davis won't be able to withstand his power, and promised the fight will serve as proof of what he's capable of.
Essentially kill you if you got on the ring
He's
with him.
He's a 5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really do this. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
Streamer Aiden Ross has thrown his full support behind Jake Paul, boldly predicting he will shock the world against Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Ross argued that anyone doubting Jake's chances simply doesn't understand boxing, pointing to Paul's steady improvement with each fight. He dismissed critics who still label Jake as just a YouTuber-turned-boxer, insisting that Paul has already proven himself inside the ring. For Ross, this matchup isn't about Tank's legacy, it's about Jake's rise. He emphasized that Paul's discipline and determination make him a far more dangerous opponent than many are willing to admit.
You guys, I'm gonna be very surprised if Jake's not on the sports. Like, all you guys saying and all this shit, you guys understand that it's all about weight and shit. Like, alright, I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins the fight. It's very obvious, right? It's very, very, very obvious.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is often criticized not for his in-ring skill but for his lack of marketability outside of it. Analysts argue that Davis has struggled to generate major buzz even within his own division. By contrast, Jake Paul, and his brother Logan, has mastered the art of promotion, transforming every appearance into a spectacle and driving millions of pay-per-view buys with their charisma and entertainment savvy. This, critics say, is what makes the Davis-Paul matchup globally intriguing. Without Jake's promotional power, many believe Tank's brand alone wouldn't be strong enough to carry an event of this magnitude.
He's not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. The Paul brothers make him over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job, but it doesn't make any difference. Boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, which I am an abundance of, and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. And some big guy has cornered you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Hank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
Shakur Stevenson, widely regarded as one of the most technically skilled fighters in boxing, openly criticized Gervonta Davis for agreeing to fight Jake Paul. Stevenson argued that the matchup is disrespectful to the sport, noting that Davis had far better options within his division, including a potential clash with him that could have cemented Tank's status as the top lightweight. Instead, Stevenson sees the Paul fight as nothing more than a money grab against a celebrity boxer. His frustration reflects a growing concern among boxing purists who want genuine championship matchups rather than crossover spectacles.
What do you think about the women who Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if you won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Oladipo offered a different perspective on the Davis-Paul showdown, stressing that both men are still in the prime of their careers. In his view, this is exactly why the fight shouldn't be happening now. Oladipo pointed out that exhibitions like Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul made sense because they took place after the fighters' peak years, when the spectacle didn't interfere with legacy building. By contrast, he believes Davis and Paul both have bigger, more meaningful fights ahead of them and risk wasting their prime years chasing entertainment-driven matchups. For Oladipo, this bout would have been better saved for later in their careers.
Whether you agree with it or not, Gervonta is considered the #1 lightweight in the world. And it's a division that includes Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered #1 in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, I don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career is done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, it's done, right? Floyd versus Conor, did he have one more after, or was that it? I can't remember. But it was right at the end, it was done, right at the end, even if it wasn't, right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like, Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around at. Gervonta fights at 135. Guessing he walks around about 155. Like, what? Like, Jake Paul, I've been around him. I'm 5'11", I'd say he's 6'1". Gervonta, I've been around him, I'd say he's 5'4", 5'5", max. You know, a lot of these guys wear those big heels.
Pauli Malignaggi gets heated whenever the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight comes up, and during a debate with Chris Algieri, he didn't hold back. Pauli argued that knockouts only carry weight when they come against true competition, not in manufactured setups. To drive his point home, he cited legends like Felix Trinidad and Mike Tyson, who proved their knockout power against elite opposition. In contrast, Pauli claimed Tank has sidestepped top names for years, even as the lightweight and super featherweight divisions were loaded with talent. Comparing this spectacle to the Tyson era, he fumed, is flat out insulting, dismissing the fight entirely as nothing more than a money grab.
Jake Paul's career. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture not. You can't manufacture. To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He punched, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweights.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
current champion.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it, you know, the way
Felix Trinidad was
doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
But by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, everyone that was there. Everyone that was there.
Teddy Atlas will 100% agree with this.
With the expense of
the guys that were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you gonna fight? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone. There was nobody there in that era that you could say Tyson didn't fight.
Didn't say it was related. It was the same as the Tyson era. Didn't say it at all. I was actually going to say the opposite when you talk about Trinidad. Trinidad is a bona fide superstar, and the way that he was, and like you said, he fought
him up and he knocked out.
And he was a knockout punches. No, of course.
Analysts widely view Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis as more spectacle than traditional boxing. In their eyes, Jake isn't championship-level material, so chasing belts was never realistic. Instead, this matchup thrives on entertainment value, designed to capture global attention. With Netflix backing the broadcast, the fight is virtually guaranteed to draw a massive audience regardless of the result. Many believe Tank will dominate, given Jake's lack of elite skill and speed, but others argue the novelty of the clash is exactly what makes it compelling. At its core, this isn't about legacy, it's about attention, spectacle, and the kind of crossover chaos fans can't resist.
I think he's tactfully, as I said, I think he's tactfully saying like, oh,
even if he's promoting it the other way, I've been very consistent on my Jake Paul thoughts. I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is,
you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
Stephen Fulton, a respected American boxer, stepped in to defend Gervonta Davis amid mounting criticism. While many fans and commentators accused Tank of chasing easy money instead of legacy-defining fights, Fulton offered a broader perspective. He argued that fighters have every right to pursue life-changing paydays, especially in a sport where careers are brutally short. Fulton stressed that while fans love to debate legacy, boxers must also think about their families and futures. From his standpoint, there's nothing wrong with Davis taking a lucrative fight, even if it frustrates purists who wanted to see him face elite contenders.
It's like, it's a no-brainer, but I understand. I still feel for Lamont. That's my boy. Like he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's, people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers. Be like, oh, he this for that. He's a side quest. It's a side quest. Because what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's a little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment work. Cause man, I don't know. I would have done it as far as the money aspect, cause none of us would deny that money. They talking like they would. None of us deny that.